Being an expert in any field doesn't mean you'll have all the answers. Even the most seasoned professionals hit roadblocks, especially when faced with the strange and unexplained. That's as true for the archaeologists. They're often left puzzled, trying to decode remnants of the past that don't fit neatly into what we think we know. And when it comes to mysteries like these, even the experts are left scratching their heads. So, join us for today's video, as we're going to explore 15 of the most mysterious archaeological artifact finds scientists still can't explain or understand. Number 15. The Shang site. In the hills of Shanxi province, archaeologists uncovered a series of tombs that quietly rewrote parts of Shang dynasty history. The Shang site revealed 9 high-status burials, surrounded by ruins of rammed earth buildings and small graveyards. But what really made experts stop and stare were the artifacts: bronze fittings from chariots, turquoise-inlaid ornaments, gold earrings, bone pieces carved with animal figures, lacquerware, and jade objects that wouldn't be out of place in elite tombs of Yin, the dynasty's ancient capital. These weren't just burial items, they were proof of serious political weight and cultural exchange in this lesser-known region. One tomb even had the first recorded Shang-era chariot and horse burial discovered so far west. The whole area once stretched across 11 hills on the Los Plateau, hinting at a broader territorial grip than we'd assumed. The level of detail in the craftsmanship, the imported materials, the ceremonial items, it all suggests a society that wasn't isolated, but deeply connected to the powerful heart of Shang civilization, even from hundreds of miles away. Number 14. The Lost Kingdom that crushed King Midas. In 2019, a farmer in central Turkey mentioned something odd to a group of archaeologists working nearby. There was a stone in a canal with strange writing on it. The team, already surveying a massive ancient mound called Turkmen Karaoke, decided to check it out. When they got there, they could still see part of the stone sticking out of the water. No hesitation, they waded straight into the canal waist deep and pulled it out. What they found changed everything. The block was covered in Luwian script, an ancient language used in the Bronze and Iron Ages. It wasn't just an old inscription, it was a royal declaration. A king named Hartapu was boasting about defeating the powerful kingdom of Phrygia, which at the time was ruled by a king named Midas. Yeah, that Midas. The same one from legend. The same one supposedly cursed to turn everything he touched into gold. The timeline matched, and here's the wild part: before that moment, no one even knew Hartapu's kingdom existed. Not a single record. Yet here it was, suddenly front and center in one of the biggest power plays of the Iron Age. A few miles away, researchers had found another stone mentioning Hartapu, but they had no idea who he was or what he ruled. Now they do. The entire Turkmen Karaoke site, an enormous city mound, might have been his capital. Palaces, temples, monuments, all of it still buried under the surface, untouched for centuries. One random stone in a canal just rewrote an entire piece of history. And according to lead archaeologist James Osborne, this is only the beginning. Number 13. The Viking runestone. Lane Brandt and Anders Nielsen weren't looking for history or anything Vikings. They were just remodeling their kitchen in Saqqara, Denmark, just like people do. But what they found under the floorboards turned into national news: a massive Viking runestone, untouched for over 1,200 years. The slab, measuring more than 6 feet long and weighing nearly a ton, wasn't recognized at first, but a friend with a metal detector noticed strange markings. Experts confirmed them as runes. So far, only 5 have been deciphered, translating to after B, which hints at a memorial for someone whose name began with that letter. The carving style suggests it dates to the 8th century CE, making it one of Denmark's oldest runestones, and the first of its kind found in the area in nearly 3 decades. Now in the Museum of East Jutland, it's undergoing deeper analysis, but the takeaway is simple. Even under laminate flooring, history waits. Sometimes you don't need to dig deep, just rip up your floor and let the past speak. Number 12. Bronze statues of San Cassiano. In the thermal spring town of San Cassiano dei Bagni, what began as a dig at an old bathhouse turned into a headline-making discovery. 24 bronze statues, many of them full-bodied, some showing only afflicted limbs or organs, were pulled from the sacred waters. Dating from the 3rd century BCE to the 1st century CE, these were left behind by people desperate for healing. Whether it was a bad leg, a crooked spine, or just hope for divine favor, they came with gifts and prayers. Some of the statues were incredibly detailed, like the one of a thin Roman boy, Marcius Grabillo, who seemed to suffer from a skeletal issue. The offerings didn't stop at bronze. Archaeologists found surgical tools, peach pits, pine cones, eggshells, and even a lock of hair over 2,000 years old. Italy's Ministry of Culture sees it as more than a religious site. It's a cultural bridge between Etruscan and Roman beliefs about the body, healing, and divine power. These statues will tour Europe before returning home to a new museum overlooking the same sacred waters. Number 11. The figurine hoard of Kythnos. On the Greek island of Kythnos, archaeologists dug up something wild. They found over 2,000 small clay figurines buried across centuries at a sanctuary dedicated to Demeter and Persephone. We're talking 700 years of people showing up and leaving behind tiny figures of women, kids, animals, and even theater actors. Along with them, lamps, mini vases, pieces of jewelry, and vessels made from everything from alabaster to glass. This wasn't some random dump. It was a ritual-heavy zone, built in phases from the 7th to 4th century BCE, perched on a plateau with ocean views. One of the most confusing finds is a giant inscribed slab that was clearly important, but possibly dragged in from somewhere else. The writing links it to a Hellenistic magistrate, but nobody's sure why it's there. Some of the pottery came from Eleusis, a major religious hub, hinting at bigger spiritual networks. But no one really knows the full story. There are thousands of pieces, still, no clear picture. Just layers of mystery baked in terracotta. Number 10. White Sands footprints. Back in 2021, in New Mexico's White Sands National Park, a set of fossilized human footprints changed the entire timeline of when people first stepped into the Americas. Preserved in hardened layers of mud, these prints date back roughly 23,000 years, thousands of years older than previously believed. Most were made by teenagers and children, walking beside a few adults. Their steps crossed ancient wetlands at a time when mammoths and giant sloths still roamed nearby. Before this finding, experts thought humans arrived here around 16,000 years ago. This pushes that guess back by nearly 7,000 years, and with it, a lot of assumptions. The footprints weren't random. They followed paths, showed patterns, and gave hints about life during the last ice age. Whoever they weren't just passing through. They were living, moving, and surviving. This wasn't the edge of a journey, it was the middle of someone's story. And now that story, pressed into the earth and forgotten for millennia, has finally been read. Number 9. Human bone walls. Well, this is super duper creepy. In 2020, restoration work at St. Bavo's Cathedral in Ghent took an eerie turn when archaeologists uncovered a hidden chamber beneath the church floor. What made the find chilling wasn't its location, it was the walls. 9 of them, built entirely from human leg bones, likely arranged during the 17th century. Most of the remains themselves date back 2 centuries earlier, to the 1400s or 1500s. There's no record of any formal ossuary project at the site, but experts believe this was an improvised solution to overcrowded cemeteries. Rather than disposing of bones during exhumations, workers may have chosen to stack them with care and seal them into walls. Some think the idea was to mirror the famous Paris catacombs, but this project looks like it was abandoned early. There are no signs of ritual or artistry, just practical arrangement. While it's unsettling to modern eyes, the practice may have been seen as dignified at the time. Quiet, respectful, and completely hidden, until now. Number 8. Viking game piece. In July 2020, archaeologists working on Lindisfarne, a windswept English island steeped in medieval history, dug up something small, beautiful, and rare, a blue glass gaming piece, likely from the Viking game Nafataf. This wasn't just any game token. It was likely the king piece used in a strategic battle game played centuries before chess took hold. The artifact was uncovered near the ruins of a monastery famously attacked by Vikings in 793 AD. That raid marked the start of Viking incursions into Britain, and this piece may have arrived during that very moment. Most similar game pieces are made of bone or wood, but glass ones are nearly unheard of. Only one other has ever been found. With ornate detailing and deep blue color, the craftsmanship suggests it belonged to someone of high status, but the truth, no one knows. Number 7. Roman dagger. When archaeologists stumbled across what looked like a rusty chunk of metal in Haltern MC, Germany, it didn't exactly scream treasure, but 19-year-old student Nico Kalman had a hunch. He spent 9 painstaking months removing corrosion layer by layer, and his patience paid off big time. What emerged was a 2000-year-old Roman dagger, still encased in its original intricately designed sheath. The burial site, part of a Roman military cemetery, had yielded countless graves, but none with a dagger like this. Most likely it belonged to someone of rank, possibly a commander. Roman troops had occupied the region for over a decade, but this particular weapon had been overlooked until now, mistaken for scrap. The dagger's design is distinct, with no known duplicates from other Roman sites in the area, making it both rare and historically significant. Now housed in a local museum, it's become one of the region's most prized military artifacts. Number 6. Trenching well. During motorway construction in Ostrov in 2020, workers unearthed something extraordinary: a wooden water well dating back over 7,000 years. Unlike most wooden structures from that time, this one was so well preserved it still held its shape. Scientists believe it's the oldest known wooden well ever found. Made from carefully joined oak timbers, it's surprisingly advanced for its age, showing signs of skilled carpentry far ahead of what was previously thought possible during the Neolithic period. Dendrochronology testing dated the felling of the trees to around 5,255 BCE. The well had remained protected for millennia because it sat submerged in groundwater, creating the perfect conditions to prevent decay. Now that it's been exposed, researchers are working to keep it from falling apart, coating it in special solutions to stabilize the wood. This quiet, ancient structure is helping reshape what we know about early construction, proving that even 7,000 years ago, people were building with remarkable precision and intent. Number 5. The Golden Mummy of Cairo. Buried beneath layers of linen and time, a teenage boy's mummified body lay untouched in the basement of the Egyptian Museum for over a century. First discovered in 1916, he was left unexamined until modern tech gave him a second chance. Using CT scans, Professor Sahar Salim of Cairo University digitally unwrapped the body. No blades, no damage. What she found was a 15-year-old wrapped with care, his heart still inside, and 49 golden amulets hidden within the folds. One was a golden tongue, placed in his mouth so he could speak in the afterlife. Others were shaped like sacred symbols: the Eye of Horus, the Knot of Isis, and more. His mask was gilded, his burial was elite, and the sheer precision of his preservation pointed to status, wealth, and belief in life beyond death. With 3D printing, researchers even recreated a gold sheath that had been tucked inside. For centuries, he said nothing. But now, through tech and science, his story whispers back from the dark, and without a doubt, this boy was wealthy. Number 4. Roman perfume. In a carved quartz bottle buried for 2,000 years, archaeologists in Carmona found something unexpected: solidified Roman perfume. Hidden in a woman's funerary urn, the scent inside survived thanks to a tight seal made of dolomite and bitumen. When researchers broke it down, they discovered patchouli, yes, the same scent still used today, blended with a vegetable oil base, likely olive. This is the first time patchouli has ever been confirmed in a Roman fragrance. It rewrites what we thought we knew about their aromatic preferences. And that bottle, a work of art in itself. Quartz vessels weren't for the average Roman, they were elite, rare, and expensive. Alongside the perfume, archaeologists found amber beads tucked into a cloth bag, suggesting the woman buried there had wealth and status. Most perfumes evaporate into nothing across centuries. This one didn't. It stuck around, trapped inside a beautiful crystal. Number 3. Southwark Mausoleum. While prepping for a multi-use project near London Bridge, a team from the Museum of London Archaeology found something surprisingly untouched, the remains of a Roman mausoleum. The structure's walls were long gone, dismantled in the Middle Ages, but its core was still there. Foundation stones, flooring, even entrance steps intact. Inside, a detailed mosaic surrounded a raised platform where the dead would have been laid. A second mosaic below the first hints that the floor was once elevated and reworked. Both feature a central floral motif with concentric rings. The style and structure suggest it wasn't built for just anyone. This was likely for wealthy Roman citizens, maybe a family crypt or burial club. More than 80 Roman burials were found nearby, along with pottery, coins, roof tiles, and metal scraps. It's now considered the best preserved Roman mausoleum ever found in Britain. It didn't need treasure to stand out. Its craftsmanship and endurance across centuries make it a rare, quiet monument to the people who came before London was even called London. Number 2. Syriac Gospel Fragment. Inside the Vatican Library, something nearly invisible was hiding in plain sight. A 1750-year-old translation of the New Testament written in Syriac. Not on the surface, this was the third layer of reused parchment, making it a double palimpsest, a manuscript erased and rewritten twice. With ultraviolet imaging, researcher Grigory Kessel brought it back to life. The fragment came from the Gospel of Matthew and was originally copied in the 6th century, preserving a 3 RD century translation. It's not just a faded version of the Greek text, it includes unique details. In one line, the disciples not only pluck grain but rub it in their hands before eating. A subtle difference with deep implications. This Syriac version is older than many known Greek manuscripts, offering a rare glimpse into early Christianity's evolution. What's wild is how it survived, scrubbed, rewritten, layered over, only to be rediscovered with tech that didn't even exist until recently. Number 1. Saqqara Workshops. Beneath the sands of Saqqara, south of Cairo, archaeologists didn't just find tombs, they found the places where the dead were transformed. The discovery included massive embalming workshops dating back around 4,000 years. This wasn't just one dusty chamber, it was a sprawling complex where both humans and sacred animals were prepared for burial, complete with murals showing scenes of daily life. Some of the tombs nearby go all the way back to the 5th dynasty. Mustafa Waziri, head of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, called it Egypt's largest known embalming center. Among the finds, the tomb of a 5th dynasty official named Neshezad-Ba, and another belonging to a priest from the 18th dynasty. The workshops span 2 key time frames, the 30th dynasty and the Ptolemaic period, giving rare insight into how these practices evolved. The hope is that discoveries like this can give Egypt's struggling tourism sector a boost. But even beyond that, it's a window into a culture that saw death not as an ending, but a carefully prepared journey. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.